The wheels of modernity often move without compromise, leaving small settlements in Minnesota like frozen artifacts in the cold Midwestern landscape. Behind its scenery of thousands of lakes and fertile farming regions, Minnesota holds two parallel realities of disappearance. Towns that have completely died and become historical ruins and fading settlements, now counting down the years they have left. Cracked asphalt, red brick bank buildings with windows boarded shut, and empty radar towers in the woods remain as real physical evidence. This journey through 15 locations reveals a melancholy portrait of communities that have vanished and others still fighting not to be forgotten by time. Perched along the cold northern shore of Lake Superior in Cook County, Taconite Harbor stands as one of Minnesota's largest and most cinematic industrial ghost towns. This planned settlement was established in the 1950s by the Erie Mining Company. The town's economic glory collapsed almost overnight in the 1980s when the steel industry fell into a severe recession, forcing the company to shut down all port operations and quickly evacuate peasants from the housing area. Taconite Harbor today presents a powerful and intact post-apocalyptic scene. Along the lake stand massive concrete walls from the old shipping docks, a monumental powered station with shattered windows and rusted railroad tracks swallowed by thorny brush. The once neat residential streets have been split apart by wild pine growth, creating a silent atmosphere where the only sound is the roar of Lake Superior waves crashing against the empty docks. From the frozen industrial harbor in the north, we head to Fillmore County, where the ghost town of Forestville is preserved like a 19th century time capsule. Unlike ordinary ghost towns left to decay, Forestville's physical remains now sit inside a protected state park and are managed as an interactive, historic site. Visitors who come to this remote place can find the old Mayan store, the former post office, and the homes of early settlers still standing in original condition, complete with antique furniture inside. Yes, the atmosphere in Forestville feels very unusual. The town seems deliberately frozen in 1899, presenting the aesthetic of a long-ago economic failure neatly repackaged for tourism. The town itself was founded in 1859 in a fertile river valley. It once grew prosperous as a regional trade center with dozens of stores, horse inns, and a busy flour mill. Meanwhile, in the isolated hill country Lake County, there is the iconic Finland radar base. This air defense complex was fully operated by the United States Air Force beginning in 1950, serving as an early warning radar outpost against the possibility of Soviet bomber attacks coming from the Arctic. Its story ended in 1980 when advances in satellite technology made the costly ground radar system obsolete, leading to the base's closure and the rapid withdrawal of all personnel. Cracked thick and concrete bunkers, empty radar tower foundations staring into the sky, and rows of wooden barracks with doors left hanging open create a deeply dystopian atmosphere, reminding us of the military paranoia of the past, now left behind to rot with time. Yes, the Finland Air Force Station complex now stands as a chilling military dead town in the dense northern forests of Minnesota. The military tension on Finland's hilltop shifts into a quiet spiritual scene along the Cook County offshore, home to the legendary remains of Chippewa City. This historic settlement was first established in the mid-19th century as a major community center for immigrants and native Ojibwe residents. Chippewa City's disappearance happened slowly as commercial timber in the surrounding forest ran out and a deadly flu outbreak spread in the early 20th century. The only major physical evidence marking Chippewa City today is the old wooden St. Francis Xavier Church, still standing beside the Lake Superior Coastal Highway. This Catholic church, built by Jesuit missionaries in the late 19th century, has been preserved in its original condition without modern electricity, giving off a strong mystical aura when thick lake fog begins to cover its faded wooden walls. From the silence of Chippewa City's northern shore, we move southeast toward the hills of Goodhue County, the location of the clay industry town of Claybank. Born from the ceramic and pottery boom of the late 19th century, Claybank grew as a small commercial settlement dedicated entirely to exploiting the high-quality clay deposits beneath its ground. Its life ended completely after the commercial clay reserves were declared exhausted, and its main factory facility burned down in a major fire, leaving investors with no capital to rebuild. Domestic life in Claybank vanished without a trace, turning the former settlement area into open farmland. The collapse of Claybank's clay industry reminds us of the bloody mid-19th century conflict that erased Beaver Falls in Renville County. Isolated inside the Minnesota River Valley, Beaver Falls was once a highly promising county seat, with rapid population growth supported by a law office, a courthouse, and several water-powered flour mills. The town's history suffered a fatal break during the Dakota War of 1862 when the settlement mall became one of the main attack targets, destroying much of its wooden building infrastructure. Although it was briefly rebuilt after the war, Beaver Falls permanently lost its vital function when the regional railroad was built away from the valley, forcing county leaders to move the government center to Olivia. This mass abandonment sealed Beaver Falls' fate as a true ghost town. Exploring the woods of Beaver Falls today reveals an old 19th century stone arch bridge still standing solidly across a small stream. In addition, there is Neininger, a town that represents failed urban ambition in tragic form. Founded in the mid-1850s by an eccentric politician and land speculator named Ignatius Donnelly, Neininger was designed with a highly ambitious blueprint to become a giant new metropolis on the bluffs of the Mississippi River and overthrow the economic dominance of its neighbor, St. Paul. Neininger's grand dream shattered before it could become real, because of the global financial crisis known as the Panic of 1857. The property speculation bubble burst instantly, bankrupting investors and forcing construction workers to abandon their half-finished projects to find work elsewhere. Neininger never recovered from that economic blow and shrank drastically until it was erased from the urban administrative map. Today, the area once projected to become a high-rise business district is only private farmland and quiet village roads. Then the silence of an old industry crushed by time is reflected in Shell City. Founded in the late 19th century, this settlement began as a busy logging frontier town, supported by a water-powered sawmill. But Shell City's greatest uniqueness, the thing that made it a local legend, was its clothing button industry, which used millions of freshwater pearl mussel shells. Exploring its main area today only brings you to a quiet campground in the forest, the remains of old wooden dam posts rotting in the river, and several mounds of ancient mussel shells buried in the soil. A silent proof of a town that disappeared after draining its natural wealth. Shell City's failure brings us to a similar fate suffered by the ghost town of Vicksburg, whose location is buried in